60 degrees coming on a January morning for the Women's March 2018. Addie L. Walker. This woman is what inspired me, and I started off the march last year saying that I'm here and I'm doing it because my grandmother told me that I could. So I'm pretty sure that many of your mothers and your grandmothers and your great-grandmothers and all of the goddesses divine, we need to honor and say we stand on your shoulders and we say thank you.
It's too much. 59 cents is too much. We're here to try and persuade these nice women to be ladies and to go back in the kitchens where they belong. Absolutely.
Didn't I see you last year at some event, or no?
No, at a different.
At a different one, yeah.
At the Anti-Trouble.
Yeah, very nice.
You'll come out here without their husbands sometimes.
It's shocking. It is shocking.
Oh, my husband gave his permission. Well, mine did too.
Are there any other messages you'd like to give to the ladies?
69 cents is too much. 69 cents is too much.
I am introducing you to our only female candidate who is running for the governor of Oklahoma, Miss Senator Connie Johnson.
Woo, keep it going. Hi, everybody. Let's make noise for the women of Oklahoma and the men who love us. Yeah! Thank you, Sharice. Thank you to the organizers. Thank you for being here. I remember being here this time last year, sitting right on the front row, just being amazed at how good we look. So thank you for coming again today. Give yourselves a hand. I'm so thankful and grateful to be allowed to have just a few minutes to send you off. Yes, I'm running for governor, but I'm speaking to you today as a woman. And it is time that our voices be heard. Because we know who we are. Who are you? Think about that. I'm a woman. I'm a black woman. But I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I'm a caregiver. I'm a person who cares about people. So who are we today? Oklahoma women, we are strong. We are excited. We are united. And we are here today to march, to show our pride, and to make our voices heard. Why? Why are we marching today? Why are you here today? Think about it. We're here for justice. We're here standing for criminal justice, for social justice, for equal justice, for equal rights for women. We're here for all of the right reasons. If you believe that we are marching for a better day for Oklahoma, let me hear you say yes. If you believe that women deserve equal pay for equal work, let me hear you say yes. If you believe that women's choices need to be women's choices, let me hear you say yes. If you believe that the things that happen in this Capitol are old and bored and worn out, let me hear you say yes. If you think it's time for a change, let me hear you say yes. And if you're here today to get that change underway, let me hear you say, hell yeah. God bless you. I am so excited. I'm going to head to Tulsa and join the women in Eastern Oklahoma. But I want you today to raise your voices high. Raise your signs high. Let the world hear. Let the world see. And therefore the world will know that we are here and it's our time. Say yes! God bless you!
But let's embrace one of our little woman warriors, Tiny Raptor Cornell.
Please pray with me. Peace before me, peace behind me, peace above me, peace under my feet. Let all around me be peace. Justice before me, justice behind me, justice above me, justice under my feet. Let all around me be justice. Inclusion before me, inclusion behind me, inclusion above me, inclusion under my feet. Let all around me be inclusion. Liberation before me, liberation behind me, liberation above me, liberation under my feet. Let all around me be liberation. Care for the earth before me, care for the earth behind me, care for the earth above me, care for the earth under my feet. Let all around me be care for the earth. Love before me, love behind me, love above me, love under my feet. Let all around me be love. Yakoki.
Halito, Saho Chipawat, Sarah Adams-Cornell, Choctaw Ahoya Sia. Hello, my name is Sarah Adams-Cornell, and I am a proud Choctaw woman. And these are my babies. First, I want to recognize that we are standing on Native land. We are standing on Caddo, Apache, and Wichita land. Before we can begin to speak about equity, we must recognize that this place rightfully belongs to Indigenous people. I'm also one of the co-founders of Matriarch. My sister and other co-founder, Kendra Wilson Clements, couldn't be with us tonight or this afternoon, but we are so happy, the Matriarch ladies, to be here marching with all of you today. Matriarch is an intertribal Native women's program that focuses on indigenized and feminine-informed teaching that recognizes the importance of collective knowledge to empower our women. So that's kind of a mouthful, but what that means is we are reclaiming our spaces. We are indigenizing our spaces, our schools. Did you know our community is trying to start the Sovereign Community School to indigenize the way that we teach our children here in Oklahoma City. We are indigenizing our social justice movements, our workplaces, academia, our food, our parenting by bringing our children with us wherever we go so they will know how to organize movements and empower them to do the work that only they can do. We are indigenizing our medicine, our minds, and especially our bodies. This is why it is so important to reclaim that power, because Oklahoma incarcerates Native women at 3 times the rate of white women, and nearly half of all Native women will be victims of sexual assault or violence, and most of that trauma will go untreated. You'll see many of our Indigenous sisters today wearing red. We're wearing this color of power to honor our missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. We honor our sisters that were taken from us when we vote for legislators who are ready to reauthorize and strengthen the Violence Against Women Act that comes up for reauthorization this year. I'm gonna keep going. We honor our missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls when we research legislators and find out how they voted to close the loop for the last VAWA reauthorization to protect Native women on reservations, immigrant women, and LGBTQ women. Indigenizing these spaces is important to end the unacceptable rates of our missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, because nearly all trauma in the Native community can be tracked back to colonization, and these small groups, these small spaces for women is where we will heal. The healing is necessary to fully reclaim our power. Genocide, boarding schools, and forced removal may be a part of our story, but we are reclaiming our story, reclaiming our matrilineal ways, and reclaiming our power. As I mentioned, indigenizing spaces means empowering the voices of our youth. My daughters are with me here today, and I am so proud that they'll be speaking to you, and I'm gonna wait 1 second until that siren stops before they continue. Yakoki.
Halito, Sauchapa at Bella Equi Cornell, Chata Sia. Hello everyone, my name is Bella Equi Cornell and I'm Chata. I'm 16 years old and this is my sister Gabby Cornell, but she goes by Tiny Raptor. She's 11 and we're super excited to be here today to talk about some of the issues that impact Native youth and what you can do to help. I ask you, first of all, to re-examine holidays like Columbus Day. As a Native person, it's pretty hard to celebrate a man who enslaved, tortured, raped, killed millions, and slaughtered many of our people. We really don't like to see this holiday being celebrated, and that's why some Native organizers have come up with a new way to spread awareness and promote education about what really happened in history. We'll be asking the next mayor of Oklahoma City to pass Indigenous Peoples Day this year. Call your city council person and tell them to improve Indigenous Peoples Day.
Hello, I'm Gabby, but you can call me Tiny Raptor. I'm super excited to be here and to talk to you about Native issues. I really love Halloween, but I don't love seeing Indian costumes being worn and sold. The costume is a form of cultural appropriation. This is not acceptable. One, because it contributes to stereotypes about Native people, and two, it sexualizes our women by making us look like girls in short skirts and headdresses. That's not who we are. Companies like Disney have taken real people like Pocahontas, who was a young girl my age, who was raped and kidnapped, and made her into a fairy tale. I can't be the only one who thinks this is wrong. I believe this has to stop now. We can all make a change and ask Halloween and costume stores to not sell these costumes anymore. The next thing we're talking about is one of my personal experiences with land runs. I'm sure that most of you have done a land run reenactment. One day when I was in kindergarten, the teacher told us to all go outside and she handed us a flag as we went out. She told us to run to a spot in the field and stick our flags in the ground. Reenacting land runs is celebrating the theft of native land. In some schools, land run reenactments still happen today. We actually helped get it changed to Oklahoma History Day in Oklahoma City Public Schools. We need more people to make these wrong things right.
The next thing we'll talk about are the suicide rates for Native youth. It's a huge problem and I'm sure you're aware of the issue. If not, Native youth have incredibly high rates of suicide. We must get as comfortable talking about mental illness as we are talking about the flu. And I have a message for the adults. Do not minimize mental crisis happening with your kids. Let them talk and offer resources. One of the many reasons for these rates is because of the Native mascots that dehumanize us and stereotype us. You probably know some of the Native mascots, like the Braves, the Chiefs, the Warriors, and worst of all, the Redskins. Some people are confused as to why many Native people are offended by the mascots, but 9 times out of 10, it's because they don't even know what their own mascot really means. A Redskin is actually a detached and bloody skin of a Native person that would be sold as bounties. We were literally being hunted like animals, and they're using this as a mascot. It's also important to get involved in the community more. I know most of us here have heard of the stereotype that youth are like keyboard warriors and never really get out and do stuff. And I think that's absolutely not true. I mean, look at all of us here today. If you feel compelled to do more good work for your community, show up at rallies and organizational meetings and become more active in your community. We might be young, but we are smart, and the time of children being seen and not heard is over.
I also want to tell you that it's not easy being an LGBTQ kid in school. I have a good support system, but it's still hard when people come up to you and ask if you are a boy or a girl. One day when I was in school, I was heading to gym class as I was hearing people in the hallways that were talking about me. I noticed that I could hear 2 people talking about me. I could hear them tell each other, "Oh, she's a girl. Oh no, he's a boy." That really hurt me. I don't like people talking about my gender. It shouldn't matter if I'm a boy or a girl. We should treat everyone equally. If you hear this happening at your school, stick up for that person. Also, people should stop using the word gay as an insult. If there are any LGBTQ kids out there, I want to say that I got your back, keep being you, and the world will catch up to us. Why should we care about what other people say or think? We should only care about what is right for us. You can do anything, and don't let those people get you down. Keep being the badasses you are.
Resist. Show up. Vote. Persist. You have a voice. Use it. Yakoki. Thank you.
We have Tanya Min, who is on the board of directors for CARE, who is an amazing woman in the Muslim community, and I think, and I mean no disrespect, but she certainly is one of my badass sisters.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. May peace and blessings be upon you. If I stumble on my words, please forgive me. It's the first time I've spoken in front of such a large crowd. Generally my audience are third graders because I'm a third grade teacher. And thank you. I am honored and humbled to be speaking here today as a representative of our Islamic faith. I would like to start by thanking all of you for choosing not to be passive observers of social injustice, for speaking up against discrimination and inequities, for refusing to allow misogyny to go unchecked, and for demanding dignity and respect for all. I would like to thank all of the organizers for following through on the first march and keeping us updated about the progress and the work ahead. I would especially like to thank all of the men that are out here today and representing respect for their mothers, their sisters, their wives, and their daughters. Thank you. In the Holy Quran, God says, "O you who believe, stand out firmly for God as just witnesses, and let not hostility and hatred of others make you avoid justice." God commands us to be upholders of justice. Standing up for justice is compulsory, whether it is for one's personal, professional, social, economic, or political life. Ask yourself, can there be peace on earth without social justice? Can there be a happy society in which one gender is considered less than the other? Where someone earns less money for the same job because of their gender? No. Can there be true equality if our daughters grow up thinking only men can be in the White House? No. We have rallied the support from women, but this struggle will continue until and unless we change the mindset. Until we have fathers like mine who pushed me to gain knowledge and become self-sufficient. Until we have brothers like mine who never told me that I throw like a girl. And until we have husbands like mine who believe in me and support me to make my own life choices. If David can go against Goliath and Moses can stand up to Pharaoh and his army, I think all of us here united can definitely stand up against injustice. Last April, a study was conducted by MoveHub. It investigated women's status in all of the 50 states, and they found Oklahoma to be the worst state for women. What a surprise. This study was based on gender pay gap, political representation in the state legislature, equality in education, accessibility to health insurance, reproductive rights, and incidents of violence against women by men. Being all the way at the bottom does have a silver lining. We have nowhere to go but up. How do we raise ourselves up? We have already taken the first step by showing up here. By letting the world know that this problem needs to stop, we must come up with a resolution. Furthermore, every woman that can vote should vote. And every capable woman, like the speaker that was up here just before me, should put their names on the ballot. Because I'm an educator, I believe we must get multicultural, bias-free, non-sexist curriculums in our schools so our next generation doesn't harbor the same stereotypes and ideologies that have kept us from moving forward. If we want a better world for ourselves and a brighter future for our children, we must stand up for each other. We must support each other regardless of our beliefs and our backgrounds. I would like to conclude with just one sentence from the last sermon of the Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him. O people, it is true that you have certain rights with regard to the women, but they also have rights over you. Thank you.
I especially send out a lot of love and energy and protective energy to our trans sisters and our trans sisters of color. They are under siege. In the last month, we've had 2 deaths, 2 slaughters, murders of our trans sisters right here in Oklahoma. I say no more. Our trans community deserves our support. I'm going to give a shout out to one of our supporters, the Diversity Center, which was owned and started by a Native Indigenous woman, Kelly Blair, the Diversity Center of Oklahoma, who services many of our trans community. Oklahoma, if you have an issue and you feel like they don't belong, I'm going to tell you, because I am a minister. My grandfather would say, if you don't know that they belong here, then you are welcome to put up your church finger and walk on out the door, because this Corey Tabor is my sister.
Estongo, Corey Tabor, Moment Halare Jahajipkados, Estimaskogi, Moment Jalaki, Moment Mujajidos, Amalegre Ijashwogi, Moment Jalaki, Aniwaya, Amadawa Tallahassee Wagogai. My name is Corey Tabor, and I descend from the Muskogee Creek, Cherokee, and Osage Nations of Oklahoma. And I am a 5th generation Oklahoman and an Indigenous American and a Two-Spirit woman and a transgender Native American person. Thank you. So, you know, it's like you heard before, especially as it relates to the church community, that there is a place for us. Throughout Native America, since the very beginning of Turtle Island, our people have honored and welcomed and held sacred Two-Spirit people like myself. My medicine man, my Elishaya, has said to me specifically, there's a place around the ceremonial fire for each and every one of us. This is true because the fire is round and there are no corners, there are no walls. It's welcoming and it's affirming, and it never ends. Today, however, the outlook is less sunny for Two-Spirit and trans women of color. Within our community, crushing poverty, unemployment, suicide, and murder have taken precedence to our truths and our voices. Some of you like statistics, so here are some numbers for you. Upwards of 80% of Americans have never met a transgender person. 41% of transgender people attempt suicide at least once. Fully 1/3 of all Native American women will be victims of violence perpetrated by them, against them by men. And I live in that little corner of the world where all of these truths intersect. What we need and what we expect are your voices to echo ours. What we need is for you to be there and be our voice in our absence. Because the truth is, when we're not around, and apparently there aren't enough of us to be everywhere, when we're not around, there are jokes being made about our gender, there are mistruths being spoken and not responded to. This is how you can help. There's a big issue right now, right before us all, in the legislation. They are once again attempting here in Oklahoma to legislate transgender bathroom issues. I promise the only thing I've ever left in a ladies' room is urine. That being said, this is your chance to be the voice for me, because I can't do it by myself. Moment Jehajahlis. Thank you.
We have the phenomenal, badass, and first black woman to hold that elected position, the mayor of Geronimo, Oklahoma, Mayor Katherine Rice.
Thank you. So how's everybody doing? Awesome. So, to be honest, I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to say. I mean, what do you say when you're one of the first, right? Like the first woman, the first person that's not white, you know, and then also, I guess, you know, like the youngest person to be in a position of power and to not only be chosen to, I guess, lead, but to lead a group of people that on paper are 93% white. You know, most of them are, I guess, like blue collar workers. So, and these are things that the media and outside sources tend to tell you cannot happen. And my point is that if you feel something, right, like if you feel that you should run for something, if you feel that you can make a change, do it. And don't listen to all of the naysayers, like don't listen to, you know, what TV may tell you. Sometimes just turn some of that negativity off and just focus on your internal optimism, because you decide how high you climb, and nobody else decides that. So I guess Thank you. And then also, I guess when it comes to when it came to my introduction, it was mentioned that, you know, that a movement is happening. And so before I became mayor, I used to be a spoken word poet. I guess I still am a spoken word poet, but right, because identities, you know, they just add to you, they never subtract. So you can be all things and you can do all things. Right, you know, don't let boxes define you. And so if you all don't mind, I'll read a piece of one of my poems. We don't have time to do the full thing because people used to tell me that I was long-winded. So I used to write long-winded poems. But I'll say what I can remember. And it is, movements are rooted in love, are guided by the hands of praying mothers, united in the stories of our African roots. We are living proof of the power of the village, of the collective voice that speaks healing into our open wounds, from the ignorance, pain, denial of the slave as human being. I serve He who is all-seeing and knowing. A seed does not become a tree without some dirt that creates an environment for growth. Struggle defines my character. It is the base of my resolve to do better, to be better. I am the fruit, the product from those trees, strong enough to withstand the storms. I am royal, which is why my roses have thorns, to protect the beauty of my people, to keep the playing field equal. Our strength comes from our struggle, and we are a resilient people who God took the extra time to paint and add a bit of extra clay to protect us from the rays of the sunlight. We are diamond that reflects the light. We are diamond that reflects the light of the Creator, the prism that shapes visions, and most times we are more powerful than we can see. And so with that, And so yeah, I guess my message to you is that you define who you are. You define what you want to do and how you want to impact this world, whether that is buying land and building, you know, I guess developing your jobs and building your communities and creating new jobs, and like you can do that. You don't need government for that. You know, if you want to be in government, you can do that too. You define, you can do
anything that you want to do. And power is truly with people. So not with money, with people. And that is honestly like how I ended up winning my campaign, was because, was simply because I had a really great, and I still have a really great support system. And the people of Geronimo, they are amazing. If you all have the time, please Google where Geronimo is. We are working on our website. But look forward to our website February. But for now, you can Google where Geronimo is. If you make it down to Geronimo, I will gladly give you a tour of our awesome small town with amazing people who have defied all stereotypes and have made me their mayor. So. Thank you, everyone. And the next representative of House District 83, my sister and one of your organizers, Chelsey Branham.
So my name is Chelsey Branham. I am running for the House of Representatives in District 83. Many of you know me, many of you don't. Hopefully many of you will remember me after this. I, like many of you, have been really tired. I've been really tired of seeing the children in my community not have adequate schools and not have teachers that have put the work in to become certified and teach them what they're supposed to be learning. I'm tired of them not having a 5-day school week where some of them don't get to eat because they're not in school. Over 60% of our children are on free and reduced lunches, which means that extra day of school means they're probably not eating for 3 days or not eating much. I'm tired of the people in this building behind me not doing their damn job. It's really sad that we have a smaller population than just about everywhere around us, but we have the same size budget hole as all of them. I'll tell you that when I see someone in the Capitol not doing their job, I'm coming for their job. Now, I'm not the only candidate running, and I'm a very proud supporter of female candidates. We have less than 13% in the building behind us, and that's why we're in the position we are today. So I hope that whether you're volunteering for my campaign or voting for me or getting engaged in some way, picking up the phone, making calls, coming and talking to people, registering people to vote, I hope you sign up to help some of the amazing, phenomenal candidates that are running to be in this house behind me. You can find my information on my website right here at chelseybranham.com. There's also someone here in the front that is taking volunteer sign up, and you can also volunteer to sign up on my website or my Facebook page. You can sign up to drive me, to take me around from door to door to connect with my voters, or you can yourself next weekend come and connect with my voters with and for me so that we can spread the word about people who are actually going to make a difference in this building behind us and all across Oklahoma. Thank you.
She also ranks on the Black Lives Matter Board of Directors. She is absolutely phenomenal. If you knew her story, we would all just need to take a bow at how phenomenal this woman is. I introduce you to one of my dearest friends and my sister, Miss Camille Landry.
Hi, y'all. I promised her a pie if she'd say all that. Okay, I'm Camille Landry, and I'm technically here to represent Black Lives Matter, but that's not really what I want to talk about. Right now, I want to give you some marching orders. I'm the mother of 5. I've got a lot of practice in giving people marching orders because I'm a woman, and women are phenomenal. How phenomenal are you all? Now, I don't much care where you slot in. I've got some suggestions and you're going to hear them, of course. But find your spot. Find your passion. Make your move. I want to say to my sisters of color, we have spent a lot of time, we have spent generations and generations being shackled, being spat upon, being raped, being marginalized, being oppressed, being abused, being used. Don't let that stop you. You conquered that. Your mama conquered it, your grandmama conquered it, and her grandmama conquered it. Don't let it conquer you. Find your spot. Don't sit back and say, well, you know, if I stick my head up too high, I'm going to get pounded down. So I think I'm going to be cool because I'm just going to make this money and pay the rent next month. That's fine and dandy. But if you let the society fall apart in front of you, there isn't going to be much point in making your rent. I want to say to my Caucasian sisters, now, I'm sorry you all, but an awful lot of your skin folk pulled the wrong lever, filled in the wrong box last November 6th or 8th or whatever it was. Am I wrong here? Might be your mama, it probably wasn't you. Might be your mom, might be your Aunt Nellie, it might be the lady next door, it might be the chick that sits next to you in your cubicle farm. I don't care what else you do, but I want you to start having a conversation with these women. I want you to start pointing out some reality. I want you to say to them, sister, I understand that you're worried. I'm understanding that the community, the nation that you thought you know has changed. And I understand that that scares you. But come on. You know, come on, do the right thing. I can't change that. I can't talk to your mama. I can't talk to your Aunt Nellie, but you can. It is your job to address the issues of racism and misogyny and bigotry and hatred among your skin folk. And I want you to do that. I want us to stop fighting among ourselves. A woman's place is in the home and in the house. The White House, the courthouse, the state house, the House of Representatives, the Senate, the police station house, the firehouse, whatever damn house you want to go into. A woman's place, should she so choose, is to stay in her own home and make her job the raising of the next generation and the keeper of the flame. That is just as noble an undertaking as any other. I want to talk to my sisters who are trans, because you are my sisters. A woman is the person who says she's a woman. It's not our job to make that determination, but it is our job to stand shoulder to shoulder with our trans sisters and say you are safe. It is our job to stand with our LGBTQ, etc. sisters and say, I am a safe place for you. It is our job to stand with women who say, me too. We need to reply, we believe you. We hear you. We are you. So my time is coming into an end. I want to say, all of you, get up, get out. Our motto here is, we roar, we soar. R, resist. S, stand up, show up, shout up. V is for vote. And P is for persist. Let me say one quick thing about vote. Going down there and filling in that little black box does not make you a good citizen. Maybe a better citizen than the person who didn't. I want you to find out about the candidates. I want you to reach out to them and tell them what your concerns are. I want you to get 10, 15, 20, 1,000 other people to do the same right along with you and cast their ballot. There are more of us than there are of them. There are more people who believe in justice and democracy and equality than there are people who hate those terms. But we sit on our fat asses and let them have this place and places like it. Stop it! For God's sake, stop it! I want you to put the same energy into your citizenship, into defending democracy and freedom and equality that you put in keeping your kitchen clean, looking good every day, keeping the bills paid, keeping the kids on track. Everybody's not a mama. Doing a fine job every place you do it, dealing with microaggressions and major aggressions every damn day of your existence from the cradle to the grave. I want you to take that energy and put it into making real, lasting social change. Now, are you with me?
We have Miss Amber Jensen, who is running for State Senate, District 27. I know that this young lady had to take a moment to decide if she really wanted to deal with everything way up there on the other side of Oklahoma. But I do believe that she is the one who can incorporate, flip some votes, and she's gonna turn her district purple. I give you Miss Amber Jensen.
How we doing? I can't hear you! So great seeing everybody here. Like she said, my name's Amber Jensen. My journey to this stage started a long ago, but 1 year ago today, we made everything for me. My Senate district up in Northwest Oklahoma, Senate District 27, has never seen a time when a female senator represented them. They've never seen a time when a member of the deaf community took their voice to the Oklahoma Senate. They've never seen a time when females stood up and loudly said, "Me too," as they vowed to end sexual abuse. In more than 20 years, my Senate district has never seen a time when a Democrat stood up and said, "Enough is enough." They've never seen a period of time when so many stood tall and proud, proclaiming that we will not be hushed, we will not be shamed, we will not allow discrimination, we will be intersectional, we will pursue equality without fail, and we will resist, show up, vote, and persist. I know they can hear our roar as we tell them that time is up. Senate District 27 is the largest geographical district and the most conservative in the state. We need to let them hear our roar. Let them feel the power of a determined pride of lions as we move forward together, arm in arm. We have a real opportunity here to let them hear our roar. We are stronger when we work together. Let me hear it!
Next, we are going to have Leslie Bonebrake, who is a candidate for House District 57. I'm sorry, 53. Her hand was in the way. My mistake. House District 53. When these candidates are getting up here, I want you ladies to make sure that you talk about where your areas are. And if you reside in their areas, research them and get engaged. And let's help them get in here so they can do the job.
Thank you, Cherie. I'm Leslie Bonebrake. I'm running for House District 53 against Mark McBride. My constituency deserves a choice between an anti-choice politician and one who understands and knows women's rights. I can assure you, if I'm ever lucky enough to be supported by my community and become its legislator, I will focus on the 3 E's, which are education, environment, and equality. Thank you all for marching this morning. I was at a workshop with the Incorruptibles learning how to strategize my city and how to talk to you people to know the importance of what means and who is underserved in my community. HD 53 is most of Southmore and Eastmore. My associate, Caitlin Dockery, is running for House District 54 just north of me, which is South Oklahoma City. And someone knows Northmore. So yeah, we've got a lot of work to do. We're both just starting out, and I hope everyone here is registered to vote and support anti-establishment politicians. All right, that's all I have for now. Working on my Type 5, so I'll see a lot of you later and talk more. Thank you.
Next, we have a young lady who is coming up to represent DACA and the Dreamers. There is absolutely no reason that any of our undocumented citizens should have to fear to come and stand on their state capitol. There is no reason that the current regime should be okay with tearing apart families. And there is no reason that we should allow them to keep targeting our Latina, Hispanic, and our African and our Singalinese citizens who they are deporting at alarming rates right here in Oklahoma. It's an organization. It's called ICE, and I think we need to throw them out. We have Miss Yovana Medina from DACA.
Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? My name is Yovana Medina. I am with Dream Act Oklahoma, and today I am here to ask every single one of you to support our dreamers. We need you guys to be a voice for our dreamers. We need you guys to be a voice for the voiceless. On September 5th, 2017, President Trump sent Jeff Sessions to make the announcement that DACA was coming to an end. He couldn't do it himself. He had to send Jeff Sessions. And now, as a result of that, 122 Dreamers have lost their status every single day. Dreamers are our educators, they are teachers, they are nurses, doctors, first responders. They are our community, and they deserve a voice. And right now, there is no voice. There are 11 million people in the United States who are undocumented. And DACA, that only covers about 2 million of these people. DACA is not a fix, but it was help. It was help for our undocumented community. It was help for our kids. And you know what? Our parents, they're the original dreamers, and they need a fix too, not just our kids. So today, I want everybody to raise your right fist, and I want you to let every single dreamer in the state know that they are safe, that they're not going anywhere, and that they're going to be protected. So please say with me, here to stay, 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 here to stay. Thank you all again. I am with Dream Act Oklahoma. Please follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Visit our website. We are daok.com. We try to participate and have as many events as we can. And we need everyone's support. And we need you guys to be a voice for the voiceless. We need you guys to be a voice for our dreamers. Thank you.
Not a creepy tweeter. That's me, a leader. Not a creepy tweeter. Liquid forest, Gulf Stream water. I know. I saw that thing. We love you.
Come on, Oklahoma, we are sounding the alarm. That we roar, we storm. This is what democracy looks like. Do not text and march. We are now incorporated in a 501c3 organization. We are here to stay, and we are going to make a difference.